Awesome, we're live.
Okay. Good evening, guys. This is actually our last session of
For today.
Smooth 2020. Yeah, for today. Yeah, it's been a long day at least for me. But yeah, it's been fun. So who we actually currently have online? I'm HK. I think you've been seeing my face all this time. The baby Yoda, as his claim on the name, is actually Alan Quah. Hi, Alan. And
Hello, people.
the
Hello,
third one is
everyone.
actually Tom. So three of us will be in this last session. And yeah, so let's start the night and start the show. So hi Alan. So what are we going to do today?
We are
Okay.
giving
Is
away
that the
a
free
free sketch.
sketch? So
No,
that's the
it's not.
free sketch, right?
That's,
I mean,
that's
I
my
wanted a
Oh,
sketch,
backup
but
we
paper.
can actually do a second drawing. I mean, the second draw
Mhm.
for that free sketch, the cute one.
Got second
Yeah.
drawing for this one,
Yes.
and
Yes.
then
Yes.
a third draw for the baby Yoda.
Oh, that we have to actually ask permission from Mrs. Quah.
Yeah. By the way, Mrs. Quah is at the back. Lavinia is in the background. As
Oh,
usual,
hello. Hi,
hello.
Mrs.
she
Quah.
she'll be helping me
Oh,
with some of the missed questions, if any.
yeah. Okay.
So
So yeah, let's get it started. So just to actually set up the night, I think everyone knows Alan Quah. But some introduction is actually due. Maybe Tom, you can actually do a quick introduction.
Yeah, so we've got Alan Quah, our breakthrough local superstar, who's done a lot of work in recent times on Dark Souls and Gears of War, and you've probably seen his covers on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, especially Nightwing, which I really like your Nightwing covers. They're very good, very dynamic. Also,
thank you. Thank you.
he's been making a name abroad. He gets a lot of praise from Alan and Daniel over at Scott's Collectibles in London. So yeah, I congratulations on having such a great career up so far.
Thank you. Thank you.
So you might
Well, grateful. Yeah, I'm grateful, of course, to be given so many opportunities, especially the past 2 years, ever since joining Scott's Collectibles, there has been like a search of opportunities. Very thankful indeed, yes.
so you might get this asked a lot, but how did you get into comic books as a whole? Like, what was the first comic you even read? Like that. These are questions I'm sure people would love to hear.
Mm-hmm. How do I?
Yeah.
How did you get a
How,
comic?
how do you get into
How, how,
comics?
how do I get into comics?
Yeah.
Yeah, like how did you start?
Well, I started doing local. I draw comics, local comics, at the beginning of my career when I was a 13-year-old boy. I did my first published work when I was 13 years old. And I ventured into comics for a couple of more years while I was still in secondary school. And when I came out from school, I realized that drawing comics will not be able to feed my family. So um, I went into the next best thing back then, which was advertising. I got myself in college and worked part time as an assistant graphic designer, and pay myself through college, and eventually came out, spent 15 years in the advertising industry before I decided to give drawing another chance. So I'm sort of like going back full circle my career. I started out as a comic artist, a young comic artist. I went into a different direction, and then in my midlife, I decided to go back into comics again and give it a go. A bit risky, but here I am right now.
Yeah. I think the plunge, the first step is actually important. And yeah, look at you right now, I guess.
I mean, do you enjoy it
Yeah.
though? It seems like you're going back to your childhood passion after all these years.
Yeah.
Well, I think the 15 years in advertising really do help me a lot because I would imagine if I were I will continue with my comic career, chances are I might have a lot of um, published work that I might not be very happy about.
Mm,
I come from an era where comic art is not really that spectacular then. So anybody who can draw decently can be a comic artist. Not like the current environment where everyone is so talented. It is a different ball game. From when I was a young artist. So I'm glad that I was in advertising. Advertising gave me a perspective of a lot of things, like for example, colors, coordination, balance, design, and all those things, which I can apply onto my drawing right now. Um, I mean, the experience, of advertising helps in what I'm doing right now.
yeah.
I mean, and especially when you're talking about storytelling, doing commercials and all those things help me with camera angle decisions and all those things. So so that made a whole lot of difference for me.
I think there's also one aspect that the advertising experience help, which is actually how you actually market yourself. I think in this time of age, you need to actually play a way to actually sell your own branding. And I think
Mhm.
knowing you since like yeah, we actually met, I don't know where, maybe at a coffee shop, at a mall, that I actually commissioned you something until where you are right now. You really, I mean, looking at your posts and all that, it has that element of the good branding that you're actually establishing throughout the
Yeah,
years. Yeah.
it's very recognizable though. Like I look at that one Iron Fist piece I commissioned from you years ago back in Animagaki, and I look at your work now, and it's still the same energy that it has. Like I'll look at it and like, yeah, this is an Alan Quah piece. I know that, and every work that you've done so far, when I look at those covers, I'm like, yeah, this is an Alan Quah piece,
Yeah,
which I think is
thank
quite
you.
quite
But
amazing.
I guess the perception of an artist and a fan is two entirely different thing. I guess because
Mhm.
personally, I had issues looking at my older art. Stuff that I've drawn like years before, right? I kind of like realized that I can do better now. So in that sense, it gave me hope that every occasion you get to level up. And every time when you look at your old work, you realize that you don't enjoy looking at it, right? That gives you comfort in the sense that you know that you are improving, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah. Mhm. So you know
Yeah.
what?
So
While talking to you guys, I'm just gonna continue doing finishing up this drawing here. I set up the base for this so that it's easier for me to draw while talking to you guys.
yeah, yeah, sounds
Yeah, by
good.
all means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So speaking about
So
leveling up and getting better, actually, one thing that I'm quite inspired by is actually your constant posts about you doing your exercise and have you given up smoking. Do you feel like it's had a
mm,
positive impact on your work?
uh, well, absolutely. I mean, sometimes the decision that you make in life, right? It become an example for you, right? I mean, to me, quitting smoking is a big deal because I was heavy smoker. I had some health issues recently, but it's not affecting me, right? But at the same, but still, I have a health issue, and doctor said that I should quit smoking. And I never imagined in my life, right, that I'm one that would be able to quit cigarette. And quitting that gave me hope that I can do anything. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah, very inspirational stuff, really.
Hmm, hmm. Yeah. So uh, yeah, I know. As you age, right, you realize that you need to take care of your health, right?
Yeah.
You need to do more, right? You're not invincible anymore. You realize, not like when you were a young punk, right?
Oh, you
you,
can't
you,
you can't say the same
you,
to Tom. Tom is still very young punk.
I'll get
oh
there. I'll
yeah,
get there
yeah,
eventually.
yeah.
No, but that
Tom is still young.
That's the other thing though about it is that you also mentioned about how another post that also really inspires me about you is how you actively spend time with your family. How do you juggle your work commitments and your time as a father, especially since Lavinia's in the background,
Mm,
right? So I'm sure
yeah.
he would love to hear this too.
Well, admittedly, Lavinia is like the pillar, of the family, because we made a decision early on that if I want to draw comics for a living, we have to suffer for a while,
Mm.
Uh, it was a conscious decision that it's gonna be a tough ride, because when you say that you want to draw comics, right? You don't get to draw comics, you don't make the decision, so that because of that, we have to struggle quite a bit, and Lavinia do most of the heavy lifting when it comes to taking care of the kids. Dad will always be working, the long hours. I remember the early years I spent like 13, 14 hours a day working, so by the time I'm back home, the kids are already asleep, so but we make do, weekends is all dedicated to the family. So
So
that's
I
how it
see
is.
you have like a routine then. You work in your studio Monday to Friday, proper office like hours, and then the weekend is
Hmm.
family time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's I work through the weekend as well. When there is a deadline. So and at that time I have my own studio. So I like the idea of working, like going to work. That feels like I am traveling, going to work. Like a proper job. I can easily work from home, but I wanted to have the idea that I am driving to work. I have a
Mm.
workplace. So
Mm.
most of the time I'll be away then. So Lavinia will be the one taking care of the kids. Sending them to school and all those things. I will help out whenever I can. So that's the deal, really. When I mean, we all work as a team, right? So made a
Amazing.
conscious decision that, yeah, that we have to suffer for a couple of years. And everybody goes through that. But
So
that's my little story. Yeah.
building on that point though, how do you juggle in terms of the work that you do? I mean, I recently you've been doing a lot of covers, but in the past you've
Mm-hmm.
done a lot of interior work. How does it differ from a effort recognition, creative perspective, even profitability? How does it juggle up?
Well, initially when I started coming back into comics, I am I have sort of like a plan where I want to focus more on storytelling. So the early years, the first 5 years of it, I spent a lot of time taking projects where it requires me to do interior work. So
Yeah, your
um,
Dark Souls work, right?
Mhm.
right. Even before that, when I was working on Godzilla, when I was working on
Often
Orphan
Black.
Black, and of course, after that, Dark Souls was really the game changer. But it was a grueling project. I s- I think I dedicated 2 years of my life into that project. You know, and after that, I sort of like got stuck um, in this position where it felt like I am the go-to guy for licensed project.
Mhm.
Mm,
Where
typecasting, yeah.
yeah, sort of like I got stuck in this typecast, yeah, where I'm always getting this license project. So and I think I was reaching a burnout at one point. Think I can't do storytelling anymore because it's really no joke drawing 20 pages a month, you know, on a monthly basis. So then I think then after that, Scott's Collectibles came about. I joined Scott's Collectibles and I realized that the game is different now. It's no longer a game where you get yourself published, and you can just stay at home where you are. If you are from Malaysia, right, then you just stay in Malaysia, and you just continue working, you know. Then it occurred to me that the comic industry has changed so much. It's all about you showing your face, you know, in front of people, you
Definitely,
know.
yeah.
Yeah. So when I joined Scott's Collectible, my boss, Alan Scott, and Daniel Scott,
Yeah.
um, they they gave us a lot of opportunity, you know, to be in front of the crowd. You know, that means we are actually flying to Comic Cons. You know, we are meeting the editors. You know, we are meeting the retailers and all those things. So that is really the game changer. You know, after that, and I realized that in order for me to move further in my career, I need to focus on covers. You know, so which is what I'm doing now. You know,
I mean, you're literally
I'm
drawing a
uh,
cover
I'm
now, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have a conscious decision, you know, of what I wanted to do, you know. From last year, I know that I want to focus on covers so that I can go for my convention runs, you know.
Mm,
I have a plan that I'll be going for a couple of shows a year, you know, and doing all these store retailers, you know. So I mean all these store retail variants, right? So
Mhm.
so that was a plan, you know, which sort of like got foiled a little bit this year.
Yeah,
Yeah, so we were supposed to like go to a couple of shows this year, but it didn't happen. Right? We are living in strange times right now.
mm. I hope you're okay.
Mhm.
You and your family are all fine.
We are. At the same time, you know, like I said, you know, I'm very thankful of the opportunities. You know, we are grounded, but work still continues. You know, so which is great. You know, it's not
Mm,
really a major impact on us because you know, comic artists are trained to be locked down anyway. You know,
mhm.
we are always stuck in our studio, you know, in our little cave, right? so
Yeah.
your
so
bad
it's no
game.
big deal. Yeah.
But you did beautify your cave because of
Oh
the
yeah, I did.
pandemic.
I did.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you know, this year I've decided to well, actually the past 2 years, you know, I've I've worked less in the office, more at home, and in recent months I've been like slowly moving all my stuff back home. So my studio is now really at home now.
Good, good.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, and interesting that you mentioned that actually about how the industry is changing because in this day and age it's all about the personality, especially, right? People all now know
Hmm.
there are J. Scott Campbells and Adam Hughes. You know, there's always a face and a person behind that. I feel
Hmm.
that, like,
Hmm.
do you believe that you want to work yourself towards a profile where people will say Alan Quah, that's the style, that's the person that I know. Is that the game plan
Uh,
instead of interiors then?
no, I mean, for me personally, it's not really about you know, the the f- uh, how shall I call it, the fanfare, you know, the fanfare of people recognizing you and all those things. To me, I think what matters most the friendship. You know, I mean, I would like to have. I mean, every time I go to a con, right? Especially now, I go to a con, right? I meet a lot of people, and these people are really my friends. You know, they are not just colleagues; they are my friends. You know, and even the fans, you know, if they know me, you know, on Facebook or wherever, right? They know that they have access to me. You know, anybody have access to me. So that's all I want. You know, drawing comics
Inspirational stuff.
and yeah, you know, the other aspect of the craziness of it is I'm not that interested. You know, I'm more
mm.
interested in going to a show and meet my friends. Right, that's the only time that we get to meet up. You know, other than that, right, we are stuck at home. We are stuck in our studio. We are drawing away. You know,
But are
so
you actually
yeah.
anticipating the return of norm? Which I mean, I personally don't think that the international travel will be easy or nor it will be cheap. So yeah.
And I think at the time being, there will be a break of sort, right? Until there are some certainty, Well, amazingly, we are already talking about shows. Just had a mini chat with my boss today, and we are already talking about going to shows, because they are already organizers who are asking, hey, would you guys be interested to come if the next 2 or 3 months there seem to be some some positivity around the whole situation. So
I think that so
people
that's
are
part of the
trying out.
reason that why I mean the Singapore as well as the Malaysia community decided to actually do something that, considering that we can't go to any con, so you just do something that of similar experience, definitely not the same experience, but able to actually having. I think that allowing to go to a con and to see you draw from start to finish, I think everyone will be crowding your table. But if you actually have a camera facing to the table and everyone looking at it, that actually gives some form of experience also, that looking you making art.
Yeah, it brings to
I
life the
think,
whole process, right? Yeah.
yeah, I guess this will be like a new normal now, right? I mean, everyone is doing this. I myself personally have done a couple of shows already so far, and I'm not a big fan of you know talking in front of a camera, but the Malaysian lockdown has sort of like emboldened me, in that sense.
Force you to adapt.
I mean, yeah, a lot of my American friends, they have a couple of shows, right? And they've been like telling me, hey, come on, man, come in, let's do a show. And I always say no, since last year, I will always say no, I can't, I'm camera shy, and I have stage fright, I can't talk, in front of camera. But look where I am now, I'm talking to you guys,
But again, you're actually among friends. I mean, all of
true.
us are actually Malaysians right now. And I guess
Yeah.
even the banter, like what David Sundra is actually putting on the screen right now, it felt like something a conversation at MCOT Mall.
Absolutely. Malaysia and Singapore is my home ground, right? I mean, of course, I mean, without Malaysian fans and Singapore fans, right? I mean, there's no beginning for me. My roots started right here, right here, and all these people that is online, I know their names, I know their face, I know their avatar, So their profile picture, I can recognize all of them, Yeah, I'm just spreading it further by going to overseas cons. That's all, But like I said, my roots has always been here, and I know that I will have less and less time as my career progress, and shows like this, this opportunity gave me the platform, to give something back to the to all my friends here, So there is also a reason why I told you, HK, that I want to draw something, and just to later, right, this we can just give it away to a lucky winner,
Yeah, that's right.
So
I
this,
think because we were so excited to start the show, we forgot to actually explain about why are you actually drawing something. Pardon me. I think that is actually my fault that I didn't actually plan the start correctly. So I mean, just to actually recap, what we'll be doing right now is Alan is actually drawing a blank sketch cover, and this blank sketch cover, for those that already been signed, getting your slot and putting in your entry through the Google form. Later we'll actually spin a view online, and let's see who's the lucky winner that actually bring this home. Yeah, yeah.
So my little brother Kale is spamming me with all the love emoticons.
Yeah.
He's trying to win that cover, isn't he?
Yeah. So this
So,
little game that we're playing. Yeah.
There are some questions that's actually coming from floor. Let's take some of them.
Sure,
Um,
sure.
Jungjae is actually asking, can you share something on the Godzilla artwork that you did before, please? Is that like Jungjae, you have not seen the artwork before? Is that what it is?
Or do you still have like the originals, like in your studio?
With me right now, unfortunately not. The Godzilla comic that I did has a special cover actually, and the special
Mm.
cover is drawn by a guest that will be appearing in the show tomorrow, Mr. Arthur Adams.
Yes.
Ah,
So that was like when I did a project for Legendary Studio, um, and I found out that Mr. Arthur Adams is going to do the cover. I was like, ooh, when fanboy, So
Yeah.
yeah. So in fact, I even got him to sign on that book for me 2 years ago when he went to Singapore Comic Con. So yeah, the fun part is that you as a comic artist, I can still go fanboy,
Yeah.
to some of my idols, and
must have been interesting. Yeah,
definitely,
meeting him.
yeah, definitely, Arthur Adams is way up there as an inspiration for me because he gave me um, the the idea that it had art has nothing to do with age. As you grow older, right? You can still level up. And to me, Arthur Adams is still leveling up every year. So that is an inspiration for me to continue working, and that I am comforted with the idea that there is still room to level up. So which is also the reason why I refuse to not give up on drawing comics. All these years.
Yeah, it's actually pretty amazing that I mean it's the same it's almost like the same theme that we've been hearing throughout the shows that there will be
Mm.
one previous artist that is actually inspiring the next one, and then
Oh, yeah.
the inspiration just propagating down on and on, right? I mean, I'm sure that
Mhm.
one day you'll be actually inspiring someone that you'll be actually talking about Alan Quah that's still been drawing comics at his 70s, and it's so inspiring and so awesome how he actually um, do his drawing and all that. I think it's just it's something that like a tradition. You're just
Yeah,
passing
the
down.
legacy system we
Yeah,
have,
the
right?
legacy.
Mhm.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in comic books,
Yeah.
you always see that, you have Wally West after Barry Allen, you have
Yeah,
Hal Jordan after Alan Scott,
yeah,
and, maybe
Mm.
after Alan Core, there'll be other comic artists who'll be inspired by your work.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I mean that's the comfort, right? That we all have. That art has no shelf life. As long as you can hold a pen, right, and you're willing to draw, you can still draw. That's the way it
yeah.
is, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's definitely part of the appeal, because if we actually
Mhm.
pick up a
Mhm.
50 comics, is actually well drawn, we still can get into it, right?
Mhm.
So yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah,
True.
there's a question coming from the floor as well. Abdul Hadi, how many Nightwing
Mm.
covers will you be doing, and any plans for interconnecting covers? Yeah.
Well, I started Nightwing on issue 68, and I
Mhm.
was pointed out that I have already done 7 covers so far.
Mm.
Well, covers that has been
I think this is the
solicited.
latest.
Yeah, including today's issue 74, I've done 7 covers so far.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I have 3 more covers that I've already completed that is not shown yet.
Any spoiler on those covers? Should we actually start hoarding them, just like your Nightwing 70?
What happened to 1917? It's so
I don't know. Yeah,
right. The
yeah.
beginning of
Joker War.
the Joker War series, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, yeah. Keep buying. That's all I can
Yeah,
say.
you definitely bring your cover, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's my only hint to you. Keep buying.
Definitely, definitely. That is an interesting question, though. Do you have any dream projects that you want to work on?
Mm, Well, this 2 years has been crazy ride. I mean, like back 5 years ago, I can only dream of a lot of things. Sitting at the mamak store with my friends, I can only dream about, hey, I wish I can draw Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. How I wish I can draw Flash Drag.
Yeah.
I wish I can draw Batman, or for that matter, Joker, right? So all these
Yeah.
things are just an idea. It's not for you to say, right? It's out of your control, all these things. But these 2 years I've been totally blessed. I'm very thankful. I've been like given all the opportunities to work on characters that I've just mentioned. Characters that I've never imagined I would be able to have the opportunity to work with. So again,
So you're living the
I'm
dream, basically.
yeah. I mean, if I were to kick the bucket, I mean, I'm thankful. This is it. I've done what I need to do. I wanted to do Batman. I've already done a Batman cover. That's I think that's really enough for me. And anything else beyond that, right, is just a little bit of extra.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm happy where I am right now.
But that's contention. But if you actually look at your art,
Mm.
I don't see that. We don't feel that because it seems like you're doing your best for the every cover that you have right now. So
Yeah, sometimes you can't help it, right? I mean, I remember afternoon I was watching the show, and I was listening to what teacher Art Jum and Derek Chew talk about. I was on my way home from my mother's, and Lavinia was holding the phone next to my ears while I was driving so that I can listen to them
wow,
talk.
okay.
And I think what Art Jum mentioned earlier on today is very, very true. About the fact that every artist, right, will have his own fan base,
Mm,
regardless of how bad you are
mhm,
or how good you are. If that makes sense, you
mhm,
know.
Yeah.
So even anybody, right, who just came out, right, they will have a fan, right?
yeah.
It's just their appeal to the public is different. So so that's it, right? I think I agree to what Ajam says today about the fact that art has no boundary, basically, right?
Yeah, that's
Um,
true.
mm, so so yeah, sorry, what was the question again? I think I stray a little bit.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I think the question is really that despite that you're actually contented with whatever project that you
Mm,
want to draw, you're still pushing
mm.
yourself in terms of your boundary
Oh
of
yeah,
actually
right,
showing us
right.
some of it. I mean,
So
you're
actually,
still
I wanted to
showing.
say is that as I mentioned earlier just now, right? When I was a younger artist, right, I felt that the the challenge is not as great as now. You know,
Mhm,
um, I think the modern artists are well trained, are much well trained than during my time. You know,
mhm,
I think that also have to do with there are a lot of specialized college now that introduce a lot of very good teaching methods to the students, where when they come out they are already trained, right, to be able to handle a lot of styles, or technique. So so that's it, right? I realize as a comic artist, and especially when you're facing with all these raw talents, I think you whether you like it or not, right, you will be very competitive as well.
mhm.
For lack of better term, competitive, it's like every time when I see my peers doing one cover, wow, this is excellent. Just like what Derek said earlier on today, right? That,
Yeah,
wow, sometimes you feel like well, there's just a lot of good talents out there, and sometimes you feel like
curating.
you're not worthy. But when your time comes, right, then you do your best work, and that's sort of like a nudge, for you to do a really good one,
Yeah.
So,
Mm.
so like, and the fun thing right now is that, in our industry, we get to know all our peers. We work together. Sometimes we work with the same retailers. It's like a roster, really. Sometimes I'll be working with BTC, and then the next cover Q will be doing it, and then the next John Yang will be doing it. So you see all these familiar names. These are the fellows that we hang out with at a Comic Con environment, right? And all of us are working with the same people. So that sort of like give us the extra competitive edge. So every time when we see one of our peers did a cover, right? So the next turn is my turn, right? So I want to do something that hopefully I can do a decent job on.
And also threaten
So
them. I think to actually give them some challenge so that they can actually do a next one
Push
that is
further,
actually,
yeah.
yeah, push them
yeah,
further.
I mean, it's really a friendly competition. I always believe that as peers, right, as comic artists, right,
Mhm.
the only way that we can move forward is to take care of each other, right,
Yeah, yeah,
emotionally or even professionally. Just if we can, we take care of each other. You know, that's the way it is. And when it comes to work, right, we do our best work.
yeah. That's
So,
really good
so,
to
so
know.
in the end, I
Yeah.
think the fan base will reap the rewards because all of us are being so competitive now. We always try to
Yeah,
outdo
spoiled with
each other.
choices. Yeah, spoiled with
Sorry.
choices. Then again,
Yeah.
we are spoiled with choices. But then again,
Yeah.
if you want to actually get everything, yeah, that's something for our wallet to suffer. Then.
I understand, and I apologize for that.
Oh no, no, no. I think that is also interesting because I mean interestingly that recently one of the
Mm-hmm.
Japanese artists, I won't name her name, but I think everyone
Mm-hmm.
knows, she went Nebula,
Mm-hmm.
and everything, just whatever that she did get sold out very
Mm-hmm.
quickly, right?
Mm-hmm.
I actually saw a
Mm-hmm.
post from the manager actually apologizing for the amount of
Mm-hmm.
covers that is actually incoming, because it
Mm-hmm.
is never their intention, but when her time just came, and
Yeah,
yeah,
I understand. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah, I
actually
mean,
quite.
I agree. Because every artist, whether you like it or not, right, we sort of like have a shelf life. So when it's time to reap the rewards, right, I guess it's the logical thing to do. Because once that is over, right, then you are just one of the regular Joes. You are doing what we are all doing. So when you have the opportunity to take advantage of the situation, right, just
Yeah,
take it.
yeah, seize the moment.
Exactly.
It must be
So,
So
amazing though to see all these other artists coming out like Kale or Puppeteer breaking into the American
mm-hmm.
market. What are your thoughts on that?
What are my thoughts on that?
Yeah.
Um, I think to me personally, because I know them, right? I think it's like inevitable, because these guys, when I know them before they got into the market, right? Um, you can see, as a peer, right, as an artist, fellow peers, that these fellows, right, will going to going to excite the market, when they go in, when they have the opportunity to do it. So I think there is really no surprise that to see them doing well. I'm very happy for them. Especially happy to see my friends Kill and also Puppeteer to be um, showing really good results. So and especially because Kale is also my colleague. We work at the same agency. We travel together. Sometimes we sleep in the same room. So we develop a close friendship. And as as colleague, and also as fellow artists, right? We agree that uh, the best way forward, the correct way, right, is obviously to take care of each other, and support each other. When he have a good cover, I will support him all the way. So, and when I have my cover, then he'll do the same for me. So, that's how it is. And it is really exciting to see all these artists coming out, all over the place, right? It's no longer just just a product where you see it belongs to a certain niche market. It doesn't work like that anymore. It's so international now, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let's take some question from the floor.
Kale said that we sleep in the same bag.
Is it true? Is it scandal?
Scandal.
On the same room. It's a room, not a bag, right? So there's a question from Vern Yu. He's actually asking whether that some artists actually says that the blank cover doesn't receive the pen too well. So do aspiring artists have to watch out for the covers that they want to draw on?
Oh yeah, I think I mentioned that once. I think the trick is very easy. Just put a cover in front of the light. I mean, if it shines, right, that means that it's not a good cover to draw. So even this is really not that great to draw. It has a little bit of shine on it, and I think I think the formula is to put it under the light. If it doesn't reflect light, right, that means you can use anything to draw on it.
Yeah. Okay.
So right now I'm using a brush and ink, right, and it still produce the result that I want. So this is fine,
Yeah. So I think you actually briefly touched on this. I heard the story but for the benefit of the reader, how do you actually get your big break drawing Nightwing B covers?
Oh, Nightwing B cover. Actually, I got my first break through a retailer variant.
The UK one?
My boss from Scott's Collectibles worked together with another retailer, the Comic Min. The owner of Comic Min, Mr. Steven Finkel, got me to work on a cover for his shop, and DC approved it to allow me to be placed into the system. So that's how you get into the mainstream publishers. You have to get into their system. That means you have to go through the due diligence. Somebody from DC has to approve you as the artist that they allow to draw for any retailers. It's not like if you're a retailer, you want me to draw, and DC will say yes to you. So it doesn't work like that. So you have to go through some sort of due diligence. So they got me in to the system, and my first gig was I did a Batman cover. So, and I think that cover sort of like solidified my position in DC, because after that, my immediate boss got me to work on Nightwing. So the plan was just to do an issue, I believe.
Okay, and a very good cover there is.
Yeah,
it's actually
it
homage of making the Bat, right?
Yeah, it was a Dark Multiverse cover, right? Yeah.
So yeah, so Batman got me onto the system, really. And after that, when I work on the first issue of Nightwing, I guess the editor are convinced that I can do a few more. So that's how it was. I was still doing Nightwing until now.
Yeah. John Marston actually mentioned that his daughter added some artwork to one of his cover. It was absolutely magical. So this is the cover. And what makes you actually allows your daughter to actually have it in?
Starting a career young.
Starting her career.
Yeah, well, Well, my daughter has been following, for mimicking me rather. When I was working from home, right? She will spend hours, sitting on her own little drawing table, and for many years, she will mimic me.
Right.
So she developed her own drawing style over the years. She don't draw as much recently, but prior to that, she was doing a lot of drawing. So and I got an assignment for Judge Dredd, one of the Judge Dredd cover. It has a lot of crowd scene behind. So I thought it would be cool if I let her draw one of the crowd scene. So,
To
so
anyone on this
every
call,
day.
I guess you can we commission work from your daughter? Is her commission list open?
Yeah.
Please
Yeah, she's
reminder me
always
that I
happy.
have OA at one of the
She's
cons.
always very happy to hear that. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Right. That was during the GeekCon, right?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah, she used to follow me on convention runs, local shows. And she will have her own commission list opening, charging uh, customers RM1 or RM2.
Soon she'll
So
charge
that's
you five.
bring
Crisis.
Yeah.
So there are more questions that's actually coming from the floor. Let's take some of them. Jia Sing Eng asked that how to actually start becoming a comic artist in this industry as a graduate art student.
How
What
to
step of becoming a comic book artist?
artist in this industry?
How to break it in?
How to break in? I think breaking in now is easier than during my time, I guess. But yeah, you have many platforms for you to try on, right? You have all these digital platforms right now, like Webtoon, where you can upload your comic, right? And just to show the world, just to see what the world thinks of your work, right? There are so many possibilities now, So, but talking about breaking in properly, right? I think my honest answer is draw your best work. Finish something that you started, put it onto your social media platform, connect to the correct people, like for example, if you want to go into comics, obviously you need to know the players of the industry, who are the publishers, who are the editors, who are the talent managers in the industry that is representing artists all over the place, right? You got to do your homework, and from there, I think the correct formula is to be not too overly in your face to a lot of people, because I think generally people don't like for you to force them to look at your work, right? So the rule of thumb is to do what you do, right? Just draw, post your work, and just continuously doing it. Eventually somebody will take notice of you. So that has always been my plan. My formula over the years. Even when I started trying to break into comics again, right? I know nobody, So what I do is I went to platforms, show my work on a daily basis. I think the whole idea is to let people remember you, right? So, and there are just way too many opportunities, especially now with social media. The world is so small now, right? Yeah. So you just need to show people that you're always there, you're always finishing something. I think that is the most important, you know. So yeah, I guess the answer is just show your work, on a daily basis.
Yeah, continue to draw. Keep
Yeah, it's
keep creating.
because it's always so easy to say that you want to be a comic artist, isn't it? Right? But if you ask me, is it easy to be a comic artist? I think my honest answer is no. It's not. because yeah, because I remember my wife eat a lot of Maggi mee, just to support me to become a comic artist. So it's not easy.
Okay, there's another question coming from Dylan.
Hmm.
Hi, Alan. As a Malaysian, what would you suggest that schools should do at primary, secondary levels to actually bring more arts or comic-related arts, especially to the prominence?
Very good question.
Yeah, very, very good question. Actually, kids, children, right? I believe that everyone as a child is naturally born to be an artist, because it is easier for a kid to express themselves through drawing than through writing, right? Because when 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 a child start growing, the first thing that they do is they draw to express themselves rather than they write, right? Because they don't have that education yet, because so every kid to me is they are artists, it's a matter of whether are you able to nurture them to become a really good one. So the honest answer is really, you there should be an education system to nurture children to become better artists, because I think naturally children are really good artists. All of them, all of us can draw. I always believe that talent is 20%. The 80% is really your commitment. Are you willing to sit down there and repeat? Because what I'm doing here, right, is years of repeating a gesture, a hand gesture that I'm doing, year in, year out, year in, year out, it's an act of repetition, really.
Yeah, sounds good. And Ariel just got online and he was saying that Indonesian loves you too. Plenty of fans here.
Yeah, I love Indonesia too, bro.
He was sharing a story of you giving him a reference book on how to draw vehicle of Star Wars planes, I guess. In the previous session. He was actually you doing that.
I mean, Ariel is a dear friend of mine. We don't have the opportunity to hang out a lot, but every time when we meet up, we will continue where we left off. So that kind of friendship to me is very rare. It's not like something that you need to push yourself, to talk to somebody. So it comes very naturally. So Ariel is a dear friend of mine. So years back when he came over to Malaysia, and we had teh tarik together, with Sheldon and him, and we were talking about his fear of getting on to a Star Wars project. So I heard that, and I saw a Star Wars book on all the Star Wars ships, right? So I gave that book to him, and months later he got a Star Wars gig.
Yeah. He was actually showing the Star Wars books that because of your gift that he started doing.
Yeah, I mean, like I always say, it is a support system, really. The art community, us as artists, right? If you can connect with an artist, right, so he's sort of like your brother, so you take care of him, because the world is just too small to to not, right,
not care for others. Just go. I mean, just along the flow of the discussion. Chan Eugene Veda from Singapore just asked the question: how do you actually stay humble and grounded with all the attention you have been getting worldwide?
Hi Eugene. Eugene is also another friend of mine from Singapore. Started out as a customer. In fact, I think all my friends that I know in this industry is all of them are somehow they start out as a fan, and eventually they all become my friends. So it has always been like that. there's no other way for me to make friends, apart from through work, So and to me, really, why should I be not humble, Because to me, I'm just a comic artist, no big deal, really, Because in fact, I think a lot of you have a better profession than me. I so happen to be able to draw funny books, So, but and I always don't believe to to have an ego, because end of the day, it is I love the friendship more, I like to talk to people, especially in a Comic Con environment, anybody can come over and talk to me, So that's always been my philosophy, And even on Facebook, anybody who wants to talk to me, they can reach me, and I
Yeah.
always answer my messages. Yeah.
Next question from Gilbert. So he's actually asking, do you enjoy drawing male or female characters more?
Well, I think my older friends here will know that I draw more male characters. But sometime last year, I sort of like got a mini challenge from a retailer. It wasn't meant to it wasn't meant to sort of like question my ability, but it was a personal challenge, because the retailer asked, how come I don't see any female covers of yours? So it got me thinking, that I don't really do a lot of female covers, and because of that, I thought it is time. My kids are older now. My daughter will not look at me in a strange way when I draw, female characters that are overly sexy. She understands that, this is her dad's job. Her dad is not some sick person. So yeah, Abby sort of like gave me the permission to draw more female covers, and that's what I did. Last year I started to consciously look for female-related projects, and I think I got my first opportunity with Unknown Comics when I did one of the cover for Chastity, and that got me onto um, uh, the attention of one of the editors at Dynamite, and they offered me the entire series of Red Sonja, so ever since that, since last year, I've been working on a lot of female covers. I have one coming up very soon, so I will announce that probably this month when I'm allowed to.
Okay.
There's also another.
Sounds very good. So moving on, there are more questions, and we're actually at 10, but I think because yours the last show, it's really up to you when you want to actually end.
Sure. I mean, as long as the guys are willing to talk, we are here. I'm not going anywhere. Well, actually, I didn't properly answer Gilbert. I think the correct answer would be I am equally comfortable drawing male or female now. But if you were to ask me 5 years ago, I will tell you I like to draw male characters more. But right now, I think I'm quite confident drawing female as well. So yeah, I enjoy drawing both. I would prefer to have a mix actually now.
That's good. I think your current mix will be a Martian with a Red Sonja.
Yeah, I thought I did one.
Yeah. Next question from Joe. Did you actually manage to meet Jim Lee in any of your cons right now, or to him before?
Well, honestly, I don't know if anybody know about this story. I actually joined a little challenge by Jim Lee 13 years ago. Back then, he was still the owner of his image company,
Wildstorm?
Yeah.
Wildstorm, and they had this little what do you call that? Sort of like a page where they will post all their artwork for fun up there. Gelotti Mati. So at that time, I remember him challenging artists to ink over his pencils.
Mm.
You know, so to prove a point that inkers are also very important in the industry, because there was a situation where a lot of people were saying that inkers are not important. So Jim Lee being Jim Lee, right? She wanted to challenge people. If you think that it's so easy, right? Let's try inking over my my page, my pencils, and so there was two categories. One category is for professional inkers, and another category is for amateurs. So I got into the amateur category. I saw the contest and I joined the contest, and I submitted my drawing. So the surprise was I won the amateur division. So my name was mentioned as the ink page that he liked. So
Now we gotta find that book. Where is it printed?
I still have the ink with me. It is I still have that with me. And the funny thing about the story is that after me winning that, right? I remember one of his comments was, "Oh, this guy is good. His inking of the cow is good." So he was making a few points about what I did right about on his inks. So and I remember him saying one thing very important is that Alan, one of these days you're going to be working for the big two. But he didn't tell me that it will take me 12 years to work for the big two. So he made those comments, right? And then 1 year later, I was at New York Comic Con. 13 years ago, I was at New York Comic Con. Attended the show, hoping to meet an editor or something, so that I can get myself published, And there was Jim Lee, about 15 feet away from me. I was holding my portfolio with the ink artwork of his in my portfolio. He was just 15 feet away, and I don't have the guts to walk over and talk to him.
Oh, God.
so that was the closest I get to meet Jim Lee. But I'm hopeful that I'll be able to meet him one of the shows. The future shows that I attend.
Yeah. That's great.
It'll be easier to talk to him the next show. You can just show him. Your
published covers.
Yeah.
It must be a great plot twist for him 13 years later. Do you remember this?
I'm sure he did. I think all artists have very good memory of what they have drawn, and especially the challenge, because there was something very important to him. To tell the message. That inking is very important. To these days, I think he still believes that inking is very important. It's a profession, really.
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, when I was reading comics, I just think that it's just one way of actually creating another job. But having seen some different inkers inking on some same pages, there's stark difference.
Yeah. So,
yes, sounds good. There's another question that's come in. May have actually been asked before. What would be a dream project for you right now? Or if we go back to your because you drew Conan, you drew Batman, you drew. Have you done Spider-Man as an official one? No.
Professionally, in comics, no. I have done a couple of statue designs, but to me, to me, I think I would define it as publish. If I have done a comic book, So yeah, fingers crossed. Still hoping that I get the Marvel break. People are working hard, to get me onto the system. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, waiting for that break.
And if ever, then to answer the question is, I'm a big fan of Venom. I'm a big fan of Wolverine, and I'm a big fan of Hulk. So these are the three major characters that I would love to, love to draw one day.
The Marvel characters.
Mhm.
Yeah, with the power
Yeah.
of internet, I just managed to find your ink page.
There you go.
Just found it.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So I'll probably share this URL to the community as well.
cool.
Yeah. So you guys can actually take a look at it. So let's see. Is there any other questions? Well, John Marston says that Moon Knight is his dream top project for you, I guess.
yes, of course. How can I not mention Moon Knight? Because John will not forgive me. John is a dear friend of mine from UK, and he's a huge Moon Knight fan. And remember, yesterday I posted a comic book that a friend sent to me, the first appearance of Gambit. So that's the birthday present that he gave me. So yeah.
Oh, it took a while because your birthday is actually at the 29th of
March. That's right. Yeah. John took a while to send to me because of COVID and all those. And other situations. So he's forgiven.
All right.
Yeah, and of course, another characters I would love to draw is characters from X-Men. Magneto, Colossus. I have to mention Colossus. If not, one of my colleagues at Scott's will be annoyed.
I do see some familiar name that's actually popping by. But before that, let's answer this quick question. Do you still draw sequential to see some of your interior work? Will you still want to draw it?
Do I still want to draw sequentials, or do I still draw sequentials?
Do you still draw sequentials at the moment?
Well, not this 1 or 2 years, I guess. I think I'm giving sequentials a break. But I am not giving up on sequentials because to me, I think I excel better as a storyteller. I mean, I spent like close to 5 years drawing sequentials, So and I really miss doing that, So I hope to one day, when I decide that I have enough of running Comic Cons, I would want to hide in my cave again. I would like to do sequentials again, or maybe mini projects like short stories that I can use this brush style to draw sequentials. I would like to explore that.
That will be actually interesting. Seeing all your brush in the interior pages, because I think the previous time that you actually did it in sequential, you actually did the pencil, which highly detailed. Sometimes I think is not effective for long run, I guess.
I think in terms of longevity, it is very energy sapping. My pencil styles, I think it is more ideal for me to use it for covers. But I think again, my perception to art has changed again. I think my my style of using pencils has really reached a point where I think I've done enough. I wanted to explore more inks, and I think this is where I am right now. I've already consciously using ink on some of my covers now, and moving forward, I want to slowly evolve entirely, into into this style, really. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see where I will go with this ink wash style on my published work.
Yeah, looking forward to it. I hopefully that some of the
Mhm.
publisher hear that and start approaching you.
Mm.
Probably some of the
Thank you.
European.
Yeah, that would be really cool, to do a European project,
Yeah,
let's do one that I can call, this is my sequential story, and that's it.
yeah, sounds good.
Mhm.
That
Yeah, I was.
actually, I've got a quick question actually. So, do you think that you're gonna work in comics for the rest of your career, or do you feel like expanding into maybe film or even TV, like storyboarding and such, or even
No, I
concept
think
design?
I think I think this is it. Comic is where I will end my career. I mean, I've I started as a young artist. I went into whatever business that I have explored, but I still come back to comics, so this is it, for me. Yeah. I mean, as long as you guys are not bored of me drawing, I'll be drawing.
Yeah,
Never.
please. Yeah, just continue.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just actually brought up a comment. This is actually coming from Yoshimichi. I hope that I
Mhm.
pronounced the name right. Just dropping by, I rap DC artist Ryan Benjamin. I think some of us is
Mm.
actually very familiar with his name, who drew the interior page of
Mm.
Night,
Mhm.
which Alan drew the variant cover. Just wanted to say
Mm.
that Ryan love your cover.
Thank you very much. Always, and I've always appreciate the appreciation of my art. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's good. I don't think that there's more question. Let me just scroll it down. Ah, yeah, there is. Um, Kelvin Liao is actually asking what comic titles are you reading right now? Is there something that you've been reading?
What titles am I reading right now? What what comic
What
titles am I
comic?
reading?
Yeah,
I'm
What
reading
comics are
right
you
now.
reading? Your omnibus or your hardcover?
Honestly, I am ashamed to say, I am just a comic collector. I don't get to read my books these days. Well, I get to flip them, uh, but that's about it. I have a lot of books behind me right now, and most of them are not read.
Yeah.
So I think all of us have the same dilemma, isn't it? Right? But yeah,
Oh no, that's why I tell my wife that I definitely read my comics. Why else would I actually?
so she doesn't know the truth.
Oh, I do read my comics slower than before.
yeah, I'm sure Hancock reads his comics. Yeah. Mm.
Anyway,
Yeah, I wish I
sounds
can, but I don't have the time really.
like yeah. Let's keep the question coming so that he keeps working on the piece.
Mm.
Yeah. So
Yeah, and this is supposed to be a sketch, and because of the conversation is getting interesting, this is turning out to be quite finished.
yeah, I think in fact we actually exceeded our original plan for another 20 minutes. So should we close it?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, if
I'm
we
done
keep
already.
talking, Alan's gonna start doing the interiors too. So,
I,
I think I'm done already. I'm just gonna sign this off, and then you can do your draw. How about that?
yes, sounds good. So
Okay.
let me just
So I'm
share
just
my.
gonna sign this off. So it's SMVFF SMVFF, right?
Yep.
That's right. 2020. Smooth.
Yeah, smooth.
Gotta put that year. Make it memorable.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, the 2020 is definitely memorable.
Yeah. We finally hit Wawasan 2020, guys.
Actually,
Yeah,
there are
man.
more questions, so maybe just two more questions before we actually sign.
Yeah.
We go for a draw. Deepesh is actually asking that I see a shifting style in your work. What is your source of inspiration these days?
My shifting style.
Mm,
I don't know. I guess it has always it sort of like it's evolved. Of my first time using brush. From 5 years ago. Um, it just it just got its own characteristic over the years, and I just kept exploring it to become where it is right now. So it wasn't planned, it wasn't intentional. I was just following what the brush is teaching me. You know, over the years. Just I think I just became more efficient with it, more comfortable with the characteristic of the brush, and hopefully there are still more room, for improvement.
yeah,
We'll see what
yeah,
happens.
yeah. And the way that you actually explained it reminded me of maybe a swordsman talking about his sword or his katana.
Yeah,
I'm
I know. I
actually
think
I'm reading some Conan
yeah.
right now. Sorry.
That's it's interesting that you mentioned that, right? Because I think um, a lot of people feel that they've forgotten that the tool, right? The tool is really designed for a certain characteristic. When I was drawing with pigment pens or with pencils, right? And then when I started using a brush, I wanted to recreate the illusion of pencil strokes or ink or pigment inks on my work. And obviously you're going to struggle because a brush will not be able to do that, right? So you got to learn to understand how the brush bends and all those things. Same with pencils. How do you make the strokes more interesting, more exciting with a pencil, or even with a pigment pen? So that said, I think the smart thing to do is to let the tool show you what it can do, and then you draw based on those expectations. So I
Okay.
guess that is an extra tip that we can share tonight about the art materials.
Yeah, sounds good. We
Mm-hmm.
have our last question. I'm going just to actually put it up front. We're going to ignore any question that's coming in. Yeah, despite that, I know that you guys are actually conspired to keep Alan online. So the last question comes from Ariel. So, what is your most favorite work? The one that you love most so far. If nobody actually asked this before.
Oh, you mean my own art? My own
Yes.
art. My most favorite piece is an artwork that was not published for many years. I don't know whether you remember my double page spread cover for Date Day issue 1 with a lot of zombies walking towards a house.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So that was a piece of artwork that I've drawn as a test page for one of the agency that I worked with years back, and that became a piece of artwork that I really like. It's a double page spread artwork with a lot of zombies walking towards a house. And after doing that, I I enjoy that piece so much. And when a museum in Penang offered me a place to exhibit my artwork, that piece of art actually went to Penang for many years
Hmm.
until it was returned to me 2 years ago, and it was sold to a customer in Hong Kong. And And recently, when Comic Kingdom of Canada offered me a cover opportunity for Date Day, I did a cover for them with a sexy girl, and I took the opportunity to ask if they're interested in having another cover option. Yep, that's the one.
Yeah, that's
And
one.
and he said, yeah, I would love to have this as a cover B. So I finally got this cover published after 5 years. And this is one of my all-time favorite piece of art.
But it's also interesting that sometimes you say that you look at your old artworks, you're not happy with it, but this is a 5 years old art, still very happy.
Yep. So this is one of the rare piece that I don't cringe looking at it. So I'm very very proud of this because I still don't cringe looking at it. So I think I did something right that I still haven't figured out yet.
How about this?
No, this is not by me. This
Oh,
is
this is not by you,
this is no, this is by one of our fellow NYCC member.
right?
Yes, Mr. Lai.
Okay.
Mr. Lai Fung. Mr. Lai Fung did this. I did two other stories in this book.
Yeah, yeah.
Funny that
And
you would put this picture up because this was my first published work when I was a 13-year-old boy.
yeah. Anyway, I think some of the people are getting restless to actually know who won.
I guess, yeah. Let's not keep them waiting.
Well, we can. It's your artwork. You can hold on to it a little bit longer. Let me just get the names up and start sharing the screen, and we can actually spin them. So anything else that you want to actually ask? I mean, Tom or even Ellen, is there anything that you want to your viewers or your fans out there?
Any messages?
Any
Yeah,
messages?
so most importantly is my respect to you guys, especially HK. I've known HK for many years, and I always respected him in a sense that his energy, in doing all these events. He started doing the exhibition shows for local Malaysian artists 2 years ago, and he's still doing this, using his own time. So it's very respectable. I just want to say thank you, for doing all these things for the Malaysian comic scene, and also for our Asian friends in Singapore and neighboring countries. So thank you also to everyone who have been supporting my art over the years, because without you guys, I'm just another regular Joe trying to draw funny books. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think that the response to your new work will be a way that it shows that the fan still likes you. So yeah, I mean, from my side, I see it's just something that I actually enjoy. I enjoy making friends. As you can see, I actually enjoy talking to people, ask silly questions. But yeah, it is something that I really enjoy, and I'm really grateful that we have two communities that can spend some time together. First day today, tomorrow, and I get to actually talk to some big names. Like for you, I've actually seen your career grow from someone that's actually drawing as a small booth at one of the local art scene to the international biggest con that's actually out there. And yeah, I mean, it's my honor to actually get involved because I've been reading comics all this while. So yeah, it's because of this that I get to actually talk to someone like Adam Hughes that I wouldn't dream of talking to 5 days ago. Yeah, in fact, that's the reality of it. Yeah,
Nothing can beat that, right? I mean, you get to talk to Adam Hughes, and then you get to talk to Arthur Adams tomorrow, right? So that's
and
right.
you, Ariel, and the rest. I mean, and I also like the mix of the different type of artists because it actually shows that art is really universal, regardless that you're actually more well known. But everyone has a way of actually creating arts. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's go to the screen. I think there's a comment that that's a lot of names. Yes, that's right. We have 56 names that is actually in the spreadsheet. So I extracted it out just to actually show that just to show that it's actually a fair game system. I also put in the whether it's actually from Singapore or Malaysia, and yeah, let's
Hancock, how many
do.
times is your name on the list?
My name is actually not there. So I mean,
Oh,
if you guys want to actually let me just scroll it slowly to make sure that my
okay, now
name
I
is
believe you.
yeah. Okay. So I always believe that if I'm actually doing something like as such, I do want to actually be in it. So I want the opportunity for the members or the participants.
Very
So
cool.
what I will actually do is also to shuffle it a little bit, and yeah. So Alan, just tap on your screen. It will spin.
Oh, really?
Good luck
Cool.
to
Yeah.
whoever wins.
Yeah.
Yep, everyone, good luck to you. If you missed it, don't worry, you know where to find me.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
And
gonna tap it. Have I tapped it already? I have, right?
you have.
Okay, and the winner is Ajay Haridas. Hey, Haridas, I know this
Hey,
name.
Haridas.
You know him? Okay. What? He's from
Uh,
Malaysia.
I,
Okay, you
He's an
know him.
I
NYCC
told you
dude. He
I know,
puts.
Yeah.
yeah, I know all the NYCC names.
Yes.
Hey, Haridas, congratulations, guy.
Oh gosh. I think Haridas, you should actually thank Barry. I think Barry was the one that tagged you to get into this contest.
Barry, Barry also won an art from me.
And Hellboy.
Just
Yeah,
2 weeks ago, right? Yeah.
that's right. That's right.
Congratulations also to Barry.
Yeah, congratulations to everyone that actually won something. I think it's very unique and it's really
Mm.
generous for Alan to actually spend an hour or more than an hour with us and yeah,
Thank
and
you very much
and,
for your time.
and
It's
contributing
my
some.
pleasure, really, because I mean, like I always say, you guys have supported me a lot over the years, either by being my friend or buying a simple print from me to buying all my covers that I've produced so far. So I'm eternally grateful to all of you. Thank you, for your support all these years. So this is just a little something that I can do with my time for you, and hopefully there will be more.
Looking forward to those.
Yeah, looking forward to.
um, there's one more thing. Remember that in order to actually join the contest, there's a set of. I actually asked the participant to actually write why do you think Alan is awesome. Shall we actually go through that? But this will be random. Else we'll be actually spending the whole night reading just praises. But I will
No, you
send
should
over.
do. You know what you should do or not. You should find the one that's they have the best answer, right? And he will get to win one of my covers that they've just announced. Maybe I'll offer that out now.
But the thing is, I'm not sure. There are many good ones. I mean, let me just share my screen for the spreadsheet.
Okay.
It's huge. 56 of them. Everyone writes essay about it. So yeah,
Wow.
tell you that
Really?
you are actually really well loved, as I actually always tell you. I mean, you're not
Wow.
just a well-respected community member that people are that are actually honored to actually spend some time with you at Mama or even the airport mall. So okay. So I'm just picking up. I mean, just randomly picking up stuff like Kevin Liao. Okay. So on these most
Wow.
special rights permit me then, in lieu of the more commonplace of supplicate to suggest that the character of this dramatist persona voila in view humble of oh my gosh, I can't even read all this. But I'll also expect it at Excel so you can actually take a look at it and maybe you just pick the one that you actually most enjoy and just give
You
it
know
out.
what? You know what,
Mhm.
HK?
Yeah.
We're gonna pick three. You send me the Excel file of all these comments. I'm gonna pick 3 of it, the
Mhm.
3 best ones, and then
Mhm.
all 3 will get to win a signed and remarked copy of the Ronin #1, the last Ronin #1.
Oh, that's a book that is very much sought after.
Yeah, I think at this time it is already almost sold out. But I
Mhm.
will get to have a couple of copies, so I
Yeah.
will reserve 3 copies for the best write-up on this thing, which will be announced at a later date. Is it all right?
Of course, of course. And
Very
yeah, see,
cool.
you actually spend your time writing paragraphs that is actually worth your time. See, you
Mhm.
stand another 3 more chance to actually win something.
Yeah, so no fret, guys. There are still 3 more prizes to be won after tonight. You will get a remark and signed copy of The Last Ronin in August. All right.
Awesome. Okay, with that, I think we shall end day one of Smurf 2020. Tomorrow will be a long day as well. There's some exciting stuff that we'll be having. So just go to the page, take a look at the schedule. I won't repeat it here. And thank you, Ellen,
Mhm.
and thank you,
Thank
Mrs.
you.
Quah, that's actually behind the scene, listening
Thank
to us
you.
and boys to your husband, but he's a good guy. So just take care of him.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone who joined the call. We'll see you guys
Thank
soon
you.
in the next session.
Thank you,
Good night.
everyone. Good night and take care, everyone.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye bye.